What is up, guys? Welcome here. Welcome back. Got a ton of new Lego castle sets to go over right now. Now these are going to be coming out for BRICKLINK Designer Program Series 9. So all of these are continuously getting voted on as of now. And then one of these, possibly more than one, will be selected to be the next Lego Designer sets. So without further ado, I'm just going to go through all of them. I'm not going to go too in-depth on each one because there's so many Lego castles. Lego castle is always the number one thing that is submitted through this designer program. So there's really a lot to go through. And there's a lot of good sets. So starting off, we have the Noble Knights Castle. This like nice whitish, royal-esque looking castle. Pretty cool. Now, a lot of these are going to be 3D rendered through the design software on this site. Not all of these are going to be mocks that were actually built in hand, so that's why they might look a bit off. Got this one that looks kind of like a bit of a Fort Laredo type set, which is cool and interesting to see. Trading post. Got the Medieval Vineyard. Pretty basic. And some of these are going to be basic, and some of these are going to be very extravagant, like this Serpent Ruin. That is crazy. And also just want to point out this Medieval Vineyard has the Griffin Knights featured in it. A lot of these castle sets, I've noticed, have the Griffin Knights and the Kraken Knights being used in them, which means that they must be eventually going to come to Pick-a-Brick, because, again, all these sets have to use they have to use pieces that are currently on the Pick-a-Brick website on lego.com. So they can't be out of date pieces, and they can't be pieces that like are CMF pieces that aren't ever going to be in Pick-a-Brick. So it has to be Pick-a-Brick pieces. So that's a bit of an interesting thing to see that the Series 9 is allowing you to put Griffin Knights, which means we're going to get those in the designer program. The Pick-a-Brick eventually. So that's good to know. Got shields here, and it looks like you have a bit of a build with each shield and like the signet of what the shield is. It's pretty cool to see. Gothic Knights. I don't know about that one for castle, but it's there. Moving on to the Stone Crown. This one opens up like the Lion Knights Castle. A lot of these I'm already seeing like this reddish feel to it for the Griffin Knights faction. A lot of people's favorite faction right now. Got the Temple of the Grail. I'm assuming that means like the Holy Grail, like Indiana Jones type thing, Jesus drank out of, whatnot. They're like the Templar type castle set. It's interesting to see. Nice big tree out front. Got a Northern City Gates. This is like, when I first saw this, I instantly think gingerbread house. I don't know if that's what they're going for here, but it's pretty interesting. Got the Emerald Abyss Prison Castle. Pretty cool. That's a pretty cool looking set. Pretty cool. Very ocean inspired. You got like a little shark, looks like, sitting up there. Very cool. Very cool. Got Dreadmore castle set. Very gothic style. I can't tell. It almost looks like they're using that torso from the Snake Knights that we got in the 3-in-1 castle set. So that's cool to see. The Watchers of the Midnight Sea. Dang, these are some cool sets. So obviously with the Kraken Knights, you're getting a lot of sea-inspired, ocean-inspired sets. People are going for that very hard. And then the Griffin Knights, you've got the more royal type stuff, which is pretty cool. You got the White Griffstone Castle. We've gotten a lot of white castles in the past. None of them have ever made it through, though. So it'll be interesting to see if that ever happens. Got the Ruins of Greystone Castle, kind of like an old-timey castle that's been run down. Not a lot going on with it. Pretty bare, actually. Got the Wagon Fort. This is very endless ways to display and play. That is very siege encampment inspired, it looks like to me. So I don't know if that one will make it through, since we've already gotten like the siege encampment. And also I want to point out that Lego and BRICKLINK have said publicly that when these sets get voted on, if one of these sets is a set like or in the vein of what Lego plans to do in the near future, the set is denied. So that's kind of interesting to note. Even though there's so many sets, we won't know if a set gets denied for that particular reason. It's interesting to know that a good set on here that should and might have won might have gotten denied just because Lego's going to make it soon. So take that with you what you will. Got this cool Fright Night faction battle Bat Lord's castle. This big moon here, very cool to see. Very interesting, very mythological. Mistgard Castle. Now that looks cool. That looks cool. So it looks like that is very interesting. So these pieces of the wall here, this is like Lion Knight's castle upgraded big time, where when you fold it together, it makes a curve. That is cool. That is probably my most wanted set as of now. That's very cool to see, because you get the Krakens with them, like they're invading them from the sea, and you got the water around the base of the set, like it's just a kind of an Alcatraz type island where it's just a fort built on an island. Very cool. And you can open it up as a big wall. Dang, that's a cool set right there. All right. Mistgard Castle. Top tier right now. The Crooked Tower. Split open designs. Interesting. Very interesting design there. Got the Sea Monster Battle. Another Kraken set. Splitting. Looks like you get a half of a ship in that one. We get the Castle Gate. Basically just a big entrance to a castle, looks like. We also have the Horse Knight set I haven't seen anyone use yet. That's kind of Horse Knight-like with the white and blue, but I haven't seen a torso with the Horse Knights yet. And as we speak about it, there it is. The Horse Knight Castle chessboard castle set. Got a Crab Beach Lighthouse. Interesting. Sleepy Dragon Inn. Very colorful. Got a little scarecrow here with like a Black Falcon inspired torso. Got the Boreal Voyagers. Another Kraken inspired set. Looks like we're getting a lot of Kraken inspired sets. Viking Shipyard. Now this is another one that I think is very, very well designed. Well done. It says you display the various stages of shipbuilding the way you prefer. That's cool. That is very cool. I really like that. This set looks amazing. This set looks amazing. I think that this one is a very high possibility of getting past. This one and that other one we just talked about. The other Griffin Knight set that closes in a curve. This is very nice. I love this, the way it sets up, this little building here. Very cool. Very Viking-esque almost with this ship and stuff. Very cool. We got the Stone Peak Stronghold with the Griffin Knights. Got the Squire. I don't know how much is going on here. Like a training facility almost, it looks like. I'm assuming. You got the Wizard's Tower over here. Cool little tower. The very top. Oh, got the Corvid's Nest. Excuse me. Corvid's Nest for the Raven Knights. That probably won't get past, seeing as how we don't have any more Raven Knights in Pick-a-Brick. You got the Octopus Gate for Kraken Knights and Griffin Knights again. Dang, they're going hard for this Griffin Knight and Kraken Knight. Which is another thing, like how we said about how if it's something Lego plans to use in the near future, that means that if one of these pass, we're probably not getting a Griffin Knight or Kraken big set, I would assume. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing, kind of not. Got the Sea Cliff Castle, very cool to see. Got the tri-colored Hydra with Monster Wranglers. Got the Scarlet Bastion, very autumn-inspired set. Very interesting to use of the red element for the castle, for the griffins, but a lot of cool detail. I like it. Got the Magic Corner, so a very fantasy-inspired set. Bunch of magician, alchemy type stuff going on in here. Got the Town Hall. Looks like purple inspired, almost like that tax collector from the medieval town square torso, maybe. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Medieval Adventure Guild. Pretty good looking. I like the colors. Storm Cairn Fortress. I don't really know what's going on with that. The Medieval Lighthouse. Very cool to see the big flame for the lighthouse to shine for the light. The Oath of the White Sea Deed. That's very interesting. Interesting build. King's Mansion. That looks very cool. I like that. We really haven't got a very royal looking castle set yet. So it would be very cool to get a set like that. I love this entrance here to the balcony. Very cool looking, very intricate, very good. I really like that. Very good. Brick Monarch's Castle. Another Griffin Knight set. Medieval Excavation Site Strange Find. That's an interesting take. Looks like a dinosaur, maybe they're digging up. That's cool. That's a good idea that guy had. Pretty cool thing to do. Medieval City Port. Ah, man, that's very nice. I like that. It's very fantasy though, because it's not something you would probably see historically. Very colorful, but I still like it nonetheless. And the thing I also am always looking for as well is sets that are going to go with my Lion Knight's Castle, Medieval Town Square, Siege Encampment, stuff like that. I'm always wanting to see that next castle set that goes well with those displays in Diron, because I'm kind of OCD like that. I don't like the Blacksmith Village alongside the Lion Knight's Castle because it looks so disproportionate. So I'm always looking for sets that kind of go well together with what I personally like, which is Lion Knight's Castle, and easy to display, stuff like that. So, very cool. Swamp Outpost. Inn at the Crossroads. Cool set. Medieval Town Hall. I don't think we've seen a single one of these, like, in hand built by someone yet. Sea Haven Stronghold. Now see, I like that set. That's a cool looking set for the Krakens. That is a very Sea of Thieves fort inspired set with that portcullis that goes down into the water. That guy, that Zarek had to have taken inspiration from Sea of Thieves for that set, because that looks so Sea of Thieves fort inspired. And I love it. It looks very cool. Very good. I like the little boat. I like the Kraken design at the front of the boat. Very nice set here. Very nice. The Castle Gatekeepers. See, and even this set, it's like something just like the carriage looks a lot bigger than the castle. I don't know if that's just the image we're seeing or if it's actually that way, which just wouldn't look right to me. But I'm sure it's someone's vision, so it looks right to someone. Adventure on Tower Isle. Another tower set. Getting a lot of these tower sets. Wizard's Tower. Got a little wizard hat at the top. Cool. Pretty cool. Very fantasy. Got the Red Banner Gate. Another entrance to a castle, it would seem. The Saltwater Stronghold for the Krakens. Big old crab element guy built here. Got Lord William's Castle. Interesting. Got the Eyrie Castle. Very unique with the tans and the olive greens. Blacksmith's Tower. Medieval Stable Inn. Viking Shipyard. Dang, that looks exactly like what we had just looked at. That's interesting. I don't know which one. I like the other one better because there's more of a space to place minifigures, probably. I think, yeah. But I like the dragon element. I like it sneaking out the cave. It's pretty cool. Got the Dragon Rider, Cliffside Sanctuary. Oh, cool. Look, got a waterfall coming down here. Cool. I like that. Market Hall. Paladin's Temple Express. Fortified City with Inn and Bank. The Forgotten Tower. Medieval Village. See, like that, I don't think that they would pass it because we've gotten a medieval town square. Even though it's retiring soon, by the time this set comes out, it'll have retired the medieval town square. I don't think that they would want to try and push out another medieval village town mock type thing. But looks good nonetheless. The Island Castle. Oh, I like this. I like this set. It's interesting here how this... Okay, so instead of like opening up traditionally, it looks like it opens up, and then you can also open up this flap to get to the dining area, it looks like. See, I like this set, man. I like this. Built up on the cliff. It might look a bit small. In person, but when it's close, it looks pretty cool. That looks cool. Dark Castle. The Mistspire Tower. The Royal Convoy. Modern Medieval Festival. Cool. Castle in the Sky. Dang, that's very fantasy. Castle in the Sky, like the windmill. Good job on that. The Medieval Forest Chapel. Pretty cool. This guy's like God down here. Built in all white air or whatever. Or it's a wedding. I'm dumb. That's a wedding. It's a wedding. Oh, the Ironclad Armory, where steel meets imagination. Okay, this is interesting because we got the Blacksmith Workshop. Then we got the Alchemist Workshop thing for Series 7 or 8 that's coming out. That they go together very well. And this one is built very much like that, where you get the entrance, the stairs, the fountain, a little side build, the cart, and a tree, and the roofs are built the same. That's interesting to see. Wonder if that'll get passed to go along with the Blacksmith and the other set. Pretty cool. Medieval Hamlet. The Airy Citadel. Another Griffin Knight set. The Palace at the End of the Alleyway. Medieval Farm. I like that. I like the farm. Pretty cool. Haven't got a good farm set yet. Got the Knight's Sanctuary of Valor. Looks almost like a church as well. The Desert Fortress. The Castle Evermore. Very colorful. Nightstone Citadel Watchtower. The Grand Tower House. Ooh, Driftwood Keep. Brickhammer, of course it's Brickhammer. Now this person, Brickhammer, made the Viking Village set for the Ideas Lego, and he just came out with the Outlaw Forest Den, I believe, and I'm sure many other sets that are in the BRICKLINK Designer Program that I don't know about, but this is interesting. So it opens up like that. A Kraken-inspired set. That's cool. I like that. Did a good job with that. I personally like the Griffin Knights more than the Kraken Knights, just because of the maroon color. But it's cool to see both of them being utilized so much in this program, and that we're able to. Because I think that shield and that torso and stuff, man, those colors look so good together. That's probably one of my favorite unoriginal castle factions. Got the Cloud Kingdom, another cloud set. Castle Keep at the Shore. Medieval Knight Castle Tower, the Tower of Scholars. Got the Skull Tower. The Fortress. I think that's a lot going on there. The Hatchery. Looks like hatching griffin eggs or something. I don't know. The Griffin Keep. Cool set. Taking place in autumn. Kita Castle. Very Asian inspired. Deep Sea Citadel. Dang, that's a big set. That looks like a big set. Deep Sea Citadel. The Medieval Guild Hall. The Rockspire Castle. The Medieval Town Hall. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. So, the Medieval Town Hall, I assume, is like all the castle factions go there and meet with each other, I guess, because you have the different factions represented with these shields, brick built shields, that is. I really like this. That's pretty cool. Maybe get a couple minifigures of each one. I like that set. Pretty cool. Very cool. Shadowstone Manor. Now, that's a set for the Snake Knights. Very cool. And that looks like it just about does it. Got the Dark Expedition, the Medieval Cathedral, the Tournament set. That's cool. A couple others here. Squid Island Castle. That's a big set as well. It's almost like for the Kraken Knights, if you're going to build a Kraken Knight set, it is almost has to be fantasy driven. So that's something to keep in mind. An Abyssal Knights World Legends of Wreckstone. That's a lot. That's a big title, but that's a cool set. Very cool set. Got the Medieval Cog and Longships. That's Griffins versus the Krakens. The Investors Riverside Workshop. The Griffwall Abbey. The Watchtower Dragon. The Baby Dragon. Clash of Clans. Oakwatch Tower. The Darkspire Citadel. The Vikings of Krakheim. Krakheim? That's a cool set. Pretty cool. I like the Palisades here. That's cool to use them like that. Most people put the little cylinder on top of each other. That's a cool way to do that, because that was a palisade or a fencing that was used in the set that just came out for the companion set for the Lion's Castle, the Siege Encampment. Came out with a couple of those built like that. The Pigeon Keeper's Tower. King's Castle. Okay, that's cool. I like those stairs. I wonder how that element is done. That's very odd. Oh, got a little chessboard up there. That's cool. That's a pretty cool set. King's Castle. Got the Alliance of Light. Big Griffin build. The Sultan's Corner. Hobby Desert-esque. Maid's Hut. The Village Grocer. The Viking Longship. The Royal Nest. I like that set. I like that. Trade Outpost and River Barge. The Medieval Spectaculum. Spectaculum. Secret Seaside Shore Outpost. Medieval Industry. I like that. I like that set. See, I like those unique type of sets that we're never going to get officially, you know what I mean? So like the ship build scene, stuff like that. Very cool. I like scenery builds with like a scene playing out. Because it's easy to display and fun to set up. The Medieval Stonemasons Guild looks like a 2.0 version, so it must have added in a previous designer program. Got the Medieval Longship and the Medieval Cog. I like this longship better. The Battle of Fjord. Dang, that looks so cool. I think it's just the colors that make me like it, but that's cool. The Citadel of the Snake, Snake Knight Castle, set in the desert. Castle Faction Shields. Those look good. Wonder how big they are. Huh. Those look good. How do they do that? That's crazy. That would be cool just for someone to build or someone to re-brick. I don't know if that's a thing, but that looks cool. I like that. Even if they're downscaled a bit smaller, so you can set them up behind like your castle display or whatnot. Very cool. Got the Dragon Spire. The Gilded Island Keep. I like that set. Hydra Shipyard. And that's it. That's going to do it. So, out of all them sets, I would probably say that there is... I could probably narrow that down to about 10 sets that I would really like to have come to fruition. It doesn't mean that all the other sets did anything bad in any way. I think all the sets were done pretty well. Again, it's just my taste of castle-themed sets. A lot of good entries. And BRICKLINK says that they get say they get about 300 submissions. The top 50 submissions of all of BRICKLINK, that's including all the castle, any other set you can imagine, any other miscellaneous set, like an off-road set, a treehouse set, anything that you can imagine that's getting submitted. They say that the top 50 sets that are voted on, 30 of those are castle. Now the problem is they only pick one of those out of the 30 because they don't want to flood with the same theme. And I think that's kind of silly, because if the top 5 sets are castle chosen sets, then that's what we should be getting for the series. I mean, I'm sorry that the other themes aren't as wanted. That's just how it should be. And in all fairness, yeah, you might not get like an off-road set that you'll want, or a Western set even. But if the top 5 sets are people voted for them, are castle, and then you have to drop down to 30th place just to find the next theme set, I think that's kind of crazy. To be honest with you, I think it's kind of crazy that they admitted it. I think it's kind of crazy that they do it that way. So I would be interested to see what your guys' opinion is on that. But I'm gonna go through these in a couple days and bring together a collection of my top most wanted sets, and see if they align with what you guys are thinking. A lot of Griffin, a lot of Kraken, not a single traditional faction. That says a lot. Like, not a single Lion Knight thing, Black Falcon, Wolf Pack, stuff like that. None of that. So that'll be cool to see that it's safe to say we're going to get a set that has the Griffins in it and the Krakens, possibly some of both. So that'll be fun to see. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Without further ado, I'm going to get on out of here, and I will see you in the next video.